Hey everybody, we're back. Brian can hear me again. So, Brian, I know we're wrapping up the Main Street grant project,
Right.
but I do have a community question. There's some concern with COVID that maybe the grant money is not going to come. Is that even a chance that might happen, that we start doing these projects and then the money doesn't come?
Well, realistically, I think anything is possible, but these grants have been awarded. We're not talking about a significant amount of money over in the grand scheme of things here. We don't put a pipe in the ground less than a few $1,000,000, in our sewer system. So I feel as though the timing of that award, the fact that we got it done and we got it out there, is such that we should be able to move forward with that. There's so much to be gained, and again, it was something that we committed to before the COVID circumstances happened. So I've heard nothing to that effect. I mean, maybe it's delayed a little bit because again, every human being in county government almost that's not able to do their jobs, and that's been many of them over the last several months, have been repurposed to COVID-related things, delivering masks, delivering sanitizer, investigating situations that come up with COVID. Things have definitely been changing, but I have not heard a single word about this not happening. The timing is such that I think we're okay.
Okay, good. I'm going to make the improvements to my building regardless, but it would be nice to know that the grant money is there to kind of help me out.
I'll check on that, but that's one of those things I'm pretty sure I would have heard about really quickly. You know, county government, Onondaga County government. Another thing people don't know. We have, I think it is the number 2 bond rating in New York State, meaning that our county government is run historically in a way that the lenders have great confidence in our ability to repay. They have great confidence in how we manage county government. I talked about different things people bring to the table. My contribution tends to be on the fiscal side of county government. And it's really cool to be part of an operation that, we didn't make it this way. We're keeping it that way with the fiscal soundness. We have a healthy rainy day fund. We have things, and we will endure all of this. And, I'm reluctant to boldly say we'll make good on promises, but we always make good on promises. So I just think we're okay on this one.
Okay.
Again, it's not a huge undertaking financially when compared to other things that we have, and we made the commitment already.
Okay. And like I said, I think we all understand things can happen, but that is the talk around Baldwinsville when it comes to the Main Street grant.
Yeah.
It's
possible. I mean, anything is possible. It's not just, Brian May in Baldwinsville that want to see this money come through. This money's touching areas all around the county, and the benefits of these investments, because that's what they are. They're investments.
Right.
This isn't a giveaway. The county gets something in return. Taxpayers get something in return. When we improve property, property values go up. That's a good thing, right? It makes us instantly wealthier from the true definition of wealth standpoint. It's a good thing, and it helps keep taxes down, relatively speaking. So because the costs pretty much stay the same.
Okay. Well, there was one other topic I knew that we were going to talk about today, and that's the Sewer Lease Project. And again, I've heard chatter about this, but I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah. It's complex and it's ambitious. But it's in my mind and in the minds of other people who are definitely smarter than me. It's inevitable because, everyone who lives here and owns property here for any length of time knows that at one time we had one of the most polluted bodies of water in the United States. Onondaga County, by order of federal court, the federal courts had to clean that lake. And, our local taxpayers have paid their share of really an $800 million bill, Shelley, to make that happen. And I think it's exciting when you look at our area and our community and see, I'm not one of those that profess the lake is clean, let's swim and drink in it. I'm not that guy, but it's sure nice that that lake is very aesthetically pleasing. You can go out on a boat. You have a beautiful backdrop at the amphitheater, and so on. And so it's just second to none. I mean, it's beautiful. And the Onondaga Lake Park and all the way around. Those investments are really important. They came at a very, very high price for those who were responsible for some of the pollution, and for county government, which in turn is funded by county taxpayers, which is also part of the problem at one point. We couldn't treat the sewage that we were taking on, especially in storm events. So as a result, the courts, for all intents and purposes, fined us by saying you need to fix it at whatever cost. Things have come a long way. They have relaxed their standards. Their federal regulators in New York State, DC, have relaxed their standards on Onondaga County considerably, just about to the point where we don't have a consent judgment in place anymore. Okay, so what the county hopes to accomplish now is a real simple process where we take over the liability that presently exists in individual towns, villages, and sewer districts, or special improvement districts. So by taking over that responsibility, the local municipalities get the benefit of our expertise, our resources. We get the benefit of protecting this $800 million investment, and extending the life of our $3 billion sewage treatment system, $3 billion for the part that we own. That's, by the way, getting overused. We treat, the last stat I heard was 40% more water than we need to. The reason we treat 40% more water is because of inflow and infiltration, groundwater, rainwater, stormwater, drainage that goes into the system that's not supposed to go into the system, water that doesn't need to be treated, basically. That means that our $3 billion system is aging faster at a rate that's 40% faster than it should, which means it costs sewer ratepayers, a lot more money.
So can I interject for one second and clarify? By taking over the like the Baldwinsville area, we'll say, it gives you more control of going into the waterway system. Is that one of the benefits?
Well, it gives us and the towns and villages the resources to address some of those problems, Shelley, because here's where the real problem lies. And this is what the real motivation for a town board or a village trustee to say, man, we got to get out of this business and kind of pass this responsibility on to the county. The state and federal regulators, because they're satisfied with what Onondaga County has done with its system, because of the natural resource that we have, that being the lake and the rivers that lead into it. Now they're looking upstream within our system, the whole sewer system, to see where these sources of inflow and infiltration are. What could be causing these problems? And if they are affecting our natural resources, a town or village at this point could be ordered to fix the problem. Shelley, I'll tell you this. There's no such thing as a $1 million order when it comes to something like this. A serious consent judgment against a village could bankrupt it. Same with a town. So, and it's important to say that we don't have those problems in Baldwinsville, in Lysander, in Van Buren. Our infrastructure is really kind of maintained at the highest level. And that's a great thing, but we have the river running through our towns and our village. And that's a very important natural resource. anything could happen. Ultimately, it's in the interests of our local municipalities to join this effort to consolidate responsibility for the sewer system water treatment capabilities, because again, the fiscal liability that we've told is inevitable towards some of these towns and villages could be devastating to a taxpayer. Whereas the county has the manpower, the resources, the interest, because of our $800 million investment already, to take this a step further. Because anything that happens upstream that's not taken care of becomes our problem anyways. And that hurts the ratepayer. We have, and I'm not going to name names, we have villages with, wooden storm drains, underground storm drains made out of wood still to this day. And the groundwater that seeps in is causing these problems. The water that seeps out of sewage pipes affects the environment. So those are all real bad things, and they're all very expensive to fix.
So that being said, let's take that example of someone with the wooden. What would the county do to correct that? Or what could they do to correct that?
They'd put in real sewer pipes.
And would that be the cost of all taxpayers or just that community?
This is where it gets complex. So when you pay a sewer rate, you pay a sewer rate for the whole consolidated, based on the cost of running the whole consolidated sanitary sewer district with Onondaga County. If you're in a neighborhood, for example, you're in what's in a suburb, in a town, you're in a special improvement district. You get this, you're in the real estate business, you understand. So there's specific lighting charges, sewer charges, etc., that is basically debt that your special improvement district carries. As the county takes these things over, any new liabilities become part of the county's program and not added to the districts per se.
Okay.
Follow? So
Yep.
There's a real upside to that. I mean, it really follows the whole government consolidation strategy. We shouldn't be redundant with things that cost taxpayers money, or in this case, ratepayers. We shouldn't be in competition. This is a universal problem that we've all been paying for and will continue to pay for. And now that the regulators have said we're looking elsewhere and we're not going to hold the county responsible, we would hold and I don't want to paint gloom and doom, but from a financial standpoint, those are serious, pretty serious words that, and to the great credit of our mayor, town supervisors here, Dick, Claude, and Bob, they get it, and they know that, this is something that we need to look at. I would expect, Shelley, honestly, that because the northwest part of the county is in such great shape, that and they've done such a wonderful job maintaining and building out their infrastructure, that our area might not see this attention for 4 or 5 years. That doesn't mean that the county's not going to do its part until then, and that our towns and village isn't going to do its part until then. In fact, they'll do a great job with it. In fact, we're spending, don't quote me on the number, I think $30 million on the Seneca Knolls treatment plant over the next couple of years, because it needs some work. Yeah. So we're doing that without regard to any of this. It's work that needs to be done. It's work that our neighborhoods need to have done. And so we're getting it done.
So can I just ask, because anytime there's chatter, there's positive and negative. What's the flip side? What's the negative? Why are there some people, and I'm not saying it's the mayor or the engineer, but what's the negative that maybe want people not to participate in the county taking it over?
Well, I think I gave you one example, and I'll tell you why, but I didn't tell you why it's a great example. Lysander, Van Buren, the village of Baldwinsville, spend the money, do the work. The people are highly capable, both from an engineering standpoint and the folks that are actually doing the physical work. These folks are awesome at what they do, and they do a fantastic job. We have great infrastructure. So when someone's telling them, why should we do this? You know, it's a little more difficult of a sell, which is why I gave the three of those guys and more the credit that I did, because they recognize that, you know, the regulatory aspect of this is a potential threat for taxpayers. But at the same time, they're like, well, what the heck? We're going to give you a great sewer system, which is what the county's going to get from the northwestern part of Onondaga County. It's going to be a great, well-maintained sewer system, well-planned, well-designed, well-maintained, while other parts of the county, let me get the 800-pound gorilla in the room, the city of Syracuse, right? It's grossly neglected. It is a big source of our problems, but we all pay for those problems already.
Yeah.
So if we can get everybody on the same page, sooner or later, a group that wants to fix it, Onondaga County, will do it, and everybody will benefit in the long run. But again, you know, if I'm, you know, I'm not going to name names, but if I'm someone in the Northwest area, and I'm saying, well, what the heck, we're going to be solving a city problem.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of work, a lot of effort, you know, credit to those guys having open minds to understand this is everybody's problem, whether we do a good job here or not. So, you know, there's just lots of ways, and there's some territorialism too, but that's nothing, you know, that's nothing we can't get past. This is what's doing right by the taxpayer. And if you keep that in mind as you go through the process, and that's what, you know, certainly has happened in our towns and village, the right thing will get done, and it'll get done the right way.
Well, I appreciate, because I know that, you know, sometimes I come at questions from like a devil's advocate point, but it helps me understand. So I'm assuming it helps other people who are watching understand a little bit better.
Well, I'm usually one of the tougher ones to convince on the legislature, so I don't mind that at all. It actually helps me, keeps me fresh, ready for next week when I got to go battle with some people.
Good. So, well, was there anything else that we had talked about covering that we didn't get to today that you want to bring up, or anything you thought about in the last few days that you wanted to throw out to people?
I think we covered a lot. There's a lot there for people to digest. It was definitely fun having a conversation with you. I hope some folks heard this and benefit. And, you know, I'll say the words. My telephone number is 315-447-4914. I'm always here to help, and I always either answer my phone or get back to whoever calls. These are important issues, things that you don't get to hear about a lot, you know, certainly not ever enough for me. But it's the stuff we're working on. And if you care about it or want to talk about it, you can call me anytime. My number is also listed on the county website, and my email's there as well. Happy to talk with anyone who has concerns ever.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, Brian. Thanks for taking the time. I know you're busy between your regular job and all you do for the county. So, and I definitely enjoyed this. It was formative. So thank you.
Thanks, Shelley. I really enjoyed it.
Bye.
Bye now.